Now, with all of that said, let's take a look at how you can monetize your expertise. So building up the courage to monetize your expertise can be very, very challenging for many reasons. So as an example, some of the barriers include, what if no one wants your expertise? Now, remember, scarcity mindset talking here. Or if people complain that you're overpriced or call you a sellout for charging anything at all, or that can happen. And if you choose to see that it will happen. And there's a possibility that still can happen. But you can't help others with your insightful ideas, your advice, your great products, your expertise that you can share, the skills you have to share, if you do not try. And charging what you're worth is key to creating a long-term impact and desire. Beginning to monetize your expertise starts with gaining confidence about the value you bring to the table. Focusing on the right matrix, overcoming some common types of resistance, and striking the right balance regarding things like timing. Let's take a closer look at each of these points quickly. Understanding the value offer. The first step is to get clear on the value you bring to others. You need to get clear on the value you bring to others for the exchange of value. In this instance, the value exchange that takes place is your expertise for a currency, and that currency may include a monetary currency. Once you do that, you'll feel more comfortable charging appropriate and even premium prices for the value exchange. Gaining the confidence to charge what you're worth is a common problem among new entrepreneurs, but it is vital that you do whatever it takes to overcome it. But be it hiring a personal coach, finding a mentor, or getting involved to some mastermind group or a community where you can develop a better sense of pricing in your market. Now, focusing on matrix that count is another important element to build the courage you need to monetize your expertise. Social media is a useful way to amplify your message and as a form of social proof to impress prospective publishers and the like, your prospective audience members, etc. So it is extremely challenging to mobilize an audience through social media, though. You don't own that relationship, and you never know if someone is actually going to see your post or your tweet or the social media you're sharing on Facebook and LinkedIn, etc. Yet, it is often talked about as magic, brand building. So this magic bullet to build your brand is go and digitize, go and advertise online, etc. It's perceived that it's a magic bullet. For many entrepreneurs, though, this is a daunting process. But doing this with a community that allows you to be brave and be safe to do that, and where you can receive the coaching and mentoring to do that, can help you be braver. So, as I said, following a tried and tested process that helps you present this and present your first free offering to your future target market, your future audience, the existing audience that is already available and accessible in the community, you can start to build trust with them and to then deliver your first premium offer that will also now start helping you to build up the courage you need to monetize your expertise. So then having access to the support you need, as I said, mentors, where you can get trained and coach to help you build up the courage, and also then to help you find the expertise and the target audience, and which provides you with a business model that unites the value you provide to your specific audience with a way of capturing revenue in return for that value, and find the path of payment, gives you the foundation for success. So while being active online gives the appearance, and see appearance in inverted commas here, of doing the right thing for your business, it might not be enough to keep you afloat. Sure, You're posting on sites, you're very active online, on social media, you're growing a following and building goodwill, and those are important. But as Jenny Blake, she's the author of the book Pivot, likes to draw a distinction between direct and indirect income generating activities. She sees a lot of newer entrepreneurs who devote an inordinate amount of time to build their website. And I know, Mike, you also always joke about how much time goes into building the About Us page on a website, or their Twitter following, or designing the newsletters for logos. Those are great, but indirect, she says. They look like you are being productive, and it's a perceived productiveness that you are creating in your own mind, and maybe in the long run, so it might not be wasted time and effort, but they won't help you pay your bills today. So to help you focus on the matrix that count, ask yourself the following questions. How much time per week or per day are you spending on social media? What's the return you hope to get, and how are you quantifying it? Is it worth it? Very important question, that. What are your own mind share and market share plays? And Mike, I know you're going to love this. That is, if you can own a piece of someone's mind, that's more valuable than a piece of the market. So the mind share is where you own a piece of someone's mind, and you'll understand that a little bit more later, versus market share. We are far too focused on market share. Market share usually implies commodity, hence the interchangeability. Here's my product, you buy it, I take money from you. But mind share is a connection with a user. It's a connection with a user, a positive association. Now that is hard to break. I can replace your product, but if I have a mind share with you, it's going to be very difficult for me to replace the product or service you are offering me. So now that is why Coke, and we all know Coca-Cola, that's why they've been around for centuries. Well, for a century, listen to me, centuries. They've been around for a century. I nearly aged us all with about 100 years here in an instant. And they still haven't been replaced. It's just water and sugar after all. They own a piece of our mind, and you would like to own a piece of your audience's mind. So make a list of your own mind share and market share plays. Once you've made that list, then look at how are you allocating your time to each of the points that you've listed in your list, and does this feel like the right balance? You might have a rude awakening in terms of the amount of time you spend and focus on market share versus the amount of time you're allocating to build mind share with your customers. And I'm actually going to get you, Mike, to do a masterclass for us on exactly this point in the near future. So the third step in building the courage to monetize is to overcome resistance. So, and that is, I think that is potentially one of the major fear factors we have, is that people are potentially going to resist our offering. So some professionals may hesitate to monetize because of this fear factor in terms of how their audience might react. And then also we know that we're not going to impress everybody. Indeed, people who are used to getting something for free may well rebel once you ask them to start paying. I've offered you something for free, now please start paying. There might be some rebellion happening. But as you start psyching yourself up to monetize, it's worth considering the following to help you overcome this resistance. Get clear on what it costs you to share your work with others. First step. So are there recording or editing expenses? What's the hosting fees on which, and the platforms that you are going to host your online content on? What's the cost of your time? The cost of your time. Do you know how much you value your time? And the first step is then to understand what you're already putting in so you can determine what the break even and beyond would look like. Then think about various pricing models. You can continue to offer the same material for free for those who generally cannot afford it? while offering exclusive paid content to your super fans. And then brace for criticism. You'll inevitably face some blowback. There's no doubt about that. But don't take those outliers too seriously. If 90% of your audience is upset, you may want to reconsider. But if it's only a couple of people sending you rude emails, try to put it out of your head. Don't get stuck and focused on only the few who is not buying into your value offer. Then, in striking the right balance, you cannot delay asking your audience for money for too long. And this is very important. We do delay starting to ask our target audience for money for too long, but it's important that we get the timing right here. If you're clear on your ideal audience and present them with relevant offers, there's just no reason why you cannot monetize your expertise, your knowledge, and ideas, regardless of the size of your following. So whether you have 20, 30, 200, 1,000, 2,000 people as a following, which you've built up through a free masterclass into your first premium offerings, you can start offering a premium offering, regardless of the numbers of your following. So when it's time to get more specific with your plans to set your fees, ask yourselves these questions. What is the going rate that others in your field are charging? If you don't know, start researching online and asking friends and colleagues. You can't price fairly if you do not know what the range is. And we have techniques that we take our community through to help them determine what the pricing should be. Then based on your knowledge and skills, how do you want to position yourself? Are you a beginner eager to get clients and experience? Or are you a seasoned pro looking to expand a new income stream? So once you understand the market, you can price yourself according to the brand you want to create in the marketplace. Practice stating your rate. I need to repeat that. Practice stating your rate. Whether it is in mock interviews with your friends or even to yourself in the mirror, you won't get others to accept your fees unless you believe you are worth it yourself. If you do not believe that you are worth the rate you are going to charge, it will not happen. So practice with yourself and ask friends and get feedback, state the rate, and then listen out to how you feel when you state that rate. If you feel light, it's right. If you feel heavy, it's not. So, some ways to monetize your expertise. I'm just going to list it here because I'm going to deep dive into the last one I'm going to share with you. You can become an online coach or a consultant. It's a lovely way to monetize your expertise. You can also build a speaking practice or build a following through podcasting. And also you can develop an audience by blogging and vlogging. Some of us might not be very aware of the term vlogging. That is just the verbal option of a blog, which is the written blogging side. You can create a mastermind experience through free masterclasses, and many of you know that we do that, and extend your reach and impact online by creating an online premium courses. And this is the one that I would like to zone into a little bit.